Chief, a lot of people in this community know you, but for those who do not, tell us about yourself and why you want this job.
Alex, I'm from the Pacific Northwest. This is my home. I'm a hometown girl. Everything about Seattle I love, and everything about the police department. I go to Gasworks Park to read books. My daughter works at Amazon. My husband works at Boeing. I go to Mariners games. I go to the Kenny Chesney concert, and really involved in the community, like the Fifth Avenue Theater. This is my home, and nothing could be more gratifying and wonderful for me after all these years of preparation than to be the permanent police chief in the Seattle Police Department.
It's been an interesting process for you. At first you were out of the finalist runnings, now you're back in. Why do you still want this job?
Again, this is my home. I love the Seattle Police Department. I love this community. I really believe in service and giving back to the community that I've worked for over 2.5 decades. I'm invested in it. I want to see the good things happen here. I was picked by Chief O'Toole to do the day-to-day operations while we went through the reform efforts and while we continue moving forward. And this is what I am ready to do. I have the qualifications and the preparation, and I'm ready to take on the leadership role permanently.
And Chief, right now there's no contract with the Police Guild. Officers haven't had a raise in 4 years. Some report being micromanaged by oversight bodies like the OPA. How do you fix morale?
Alex, I don't see morale as the issue here. Well, here's what I'm looking at. Officers, their proactivity is way up. They're engaging with the community. They're volunteering for programs. They're saving people's lives every single day. I give out commendations weekly for their heroic efforts and their selfless efforts with the community. I think there's some frustration about not having a contract, and rightfully so. There's some frustration about staffing numbers, but these officers are engaging, they're getting the work done, and the numbers show it.
Chief, as you know, oversight agencies, a lot of them in the area, say that the #1 issue with the Seattle Police Department is racial bias. How do you fix that issue?
Nothing is more important than dealing with issues of race and confronting them head on. Just last week, we took the entire command staff through undoing institutional racism training that is conducted by the People's Institute. We know we have to address communities that are marginalized and oppressed and ethnic minorities. That is really important, and we're going to hit it head on by doing the training, taking the training that's available and engaging everyone that we can in that training process. The Community Police Commission comes through when we did implicit bias training. They actually gave a section of that training. We're doing lessons learned from the Holocaust. We're doing that training with the Anti-Defamation League. We're looking to do additional training with some of the African American groups in the community. We're going to make sure that our officers are not engaging in racial bias, and that if they do, that they get fired. We're not going to have it. There's no tolerance for it in the Seattle Police Department.
The homelessness issue, as you know, is a huge issue in this city. Seattle has one of the biggest homeless populations in the country. Property owners worry about that there's a correlation with homelessness and crime. What is your philosophy going forward on balancing public safety and the rights of the homeless?
Well, first and foremost, we're not going to criminalize people for being homeless. It is going to take a multidisciplinary approach to deal with this issue of homelessness throughout the city. We being the police department, we have a part of that responsibility when there's acts of crime or criminal behavior, but we also want to join with social services and other places, with public health, to make sure that when there's an intersection of public health and public safety, that we're a part of the solution in terms of getting out there, helping direct people to the right services, helping them get the treatment and the help that they need to move forward and get themselves out of a very unfortunate circumstance. That being said, if there's criminal activity, those folks get handcuffs and go to jail. And that's where we are on this issue. It's very complex, it's multifaceted, but we want to engage and we want to be a part of the solution.
You also know, Chief, that Seattle is a city that likes its demonstrations, its rallies, its protests. By one count, there are 300 acts of civil disobedience in a year. It's frustrating for some people, but there's also the right of free speech. How do you balance that going forward? How do you keep the streets open during rush hour that is frustrating people over time?
Well, the idea that people have the right to block traffic, we've had a lot of discussion about that. We want to make sure that people are able to express their First Amendment free speech rights, and we do have to balance that with the other rights of folks who use the traffic ways and the highways and byways here in Seattle. Everyone knows it's already traffic issues in the city, so we want to make sure that we keep those roads clear as much as we possibly can, while balancing that with people's right to gather and assemble and express their freedom of speech. So moving forward, we want to make sure that we keep roads clear, that people are allowed to travel through the city, but at the same time helping people to express their First Amendment free speech.